Okay, today I'm going to see if I can talk you guys into stop buying gloves like this that do this right here and gloves like this, and maybe start focusing on getting some good value for your money and getting something like this. Stick around. Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. So today is going to be a topic about gloves, specifically pro stock versus retail gloves. I'm going to help you guys out with this one because I think that this is an opportunity for you guys to get some better life out of your equipment, and this is one of those weird situations where I think that most of you can actually get some good use out of this, get some good quality, without having to compromise just a huge amount of money, things like that. So basically, let me see if I can find my props here. It's kind of a good example. So this is a CCM Pro 4-roll glove. These are one of my favorite gloves. These are actually pretty old, but this is a retail glove. There's nothing special about these. You can kind of see this is a very normal thing to happen to the palms of gloves over time. So you know how you have to put the tabs on your license plate every year, and you just keep sticking like the year tab over the last tab, and it just keeps piling up till you have this stack of multiple years of tabs. Well, that's kind of what's going on with the patches I have here going on. But these are retail gloves, and these have served me well. Not durable, by the way. Then I have these other Warrior gloves that you saw me hold up. These are some Coverts. These are my wife's gloves. And these are, again, a fine glove. Some wear and tear on these as well. Nothing crazy. The palms definitely have holes in them as well. And I think you can tell that she shoots right because that's where the butt end of the stick is always at. Something else I'll point out about these two pairs of gloves. These are both 14-inch gloves somehow. I think you can obviously tell that these are like not looking like 14-inch gloves, but they say very much so they're 14-inch gloves, as do these. They do not fit like that. Obviously, there's different fits and such. The Pro 4-roll, I like these because I like a lot of width right here. I have like my hand is wide through here, and then fairly straight, like standard length fingers through the rest of the glove. But I cannot stand gloves that are tight across this area. I don't understand how people can wear that. Like my wife's gloves are very snug. Once they're on, they're fine, but getting them in there is just very difficult. I'm going to be trying to sway you guys to consider getting pro stock gloves. These are new gloves to me. I've definitely had them I've had them on the ice a number of times, but they're still in that break-in period, as that most gloves have to have. But I'm going to see if I can give you guys a case for why you should consider going the route of pro stock. And today's about gloves, but this can be about shoulder pads, pants, shin pads, elbow pads, things like that. If you've seen any of my videos, you know I'm a proponent of pro stock equipment because it is always more durable, and it is always more protective, and it is not always more mobility inhibiting. So that's something that you should consider. And I'll just kind of tell you how you go about buying this stuff. So one of the things that I wanted to bring up is I know a lot of people just don't know that how difficult or easy it is to get this stuff, where to get it. But let's start off by talking about price. So, you can spend a very wide variety of money on gloves. And I'm kind of, right now, you guys can't see what I'm looking at, but I'm just like on the Pure Hockey site. And I'm looking at the very cheapest pair of gloves that you can buy. They are called Bauer X Hockey Gloves in a Senior 14. They are currently $69.99 before tax and shipping. And that is the bottom of the barrel, cheapest thing that you can buy, at least at Pure Hockey, in the senior size 14. And right now, I have the main brands are selected. So we got the Bauers, the CCMs, and the Warriors, because the reality is most people are going to buy one of those three brands, even though, obviously there's Sherwood and True are out there as well. But right now, there's only one pair of gloves on Pure Hockey. It's a big site, but that's considered to be cheap. Everything else that I'm seeing is in that $100 to actually $300 price range. Now, I'm curious, what do you get for $300? If there's anything up there like that. So I am seeing Bauer Vapor Series, like the Proto 2 gloves, for $260. And that is pretty crazy. That's a lot of glove right there. And you know what? Like they may work for you. They may fit fine, that kind of thing, but they're just not going to be. But that is a lot of money. So, and by the way, like I still don't think I haven't really had retail gloves that have been as durable as the Pro Stock stuff. And the Pro Stock stuff is usually much cheaper. So I'm going to show you this glove. So this is my old Pro 4 roll. I want to say that this glove was pushing, like the high ones. Like it was under $200. I know that, but it was like not cheap. And this is like a very like flimsy, flexible glove. And I mean, obviously it's worn out, but it's never been like a really high protection glove kind of thing. It's just meant to be a very, no frills, right? So when we look at something like this Pro Stock glove from Jonathan Tuberdeau, this thing is pretty wild. How good the protection is, yet how much dexterity you have in it. Did I say dexterity? I don't know, but dexterity you have in it. And he also has like a little bit better thumb mobility because he's got some sort of extension sewn in here. And it's not to say that you haven't, all these gloves aren't going to be the same, but you also have good hinge motion here, and this is all plastic in here. So we've got good slash protection. And then these palms in this mystery string here. But got the palms, I don't know what they are, but they're very nice, nice feeling. This would be a glove that's worth spending the money to repalm. This glove was a whopping $159. Now, let's see what we can get for that price on the Pure Hockey site. This I'm really curious about. I haven't done any of this stuff. We're learning together right now. So for let's see here. So for $150 to $200 range, you can get some Bauer Vapor Fly Pros for more money than that, for $180. Or you can get some Warrior VIP psychedelic hockey gloves on sale for $159. So I happen to get my gloves from the Hockey Stick Man. I have never purchased anything from them before. It was a really positive experience. They were able to tell me, I said, hey, listen, I like a glove that's a little bit more traditional fitting, that's got a little bit more room across the back of my hand here. I'm in a a CCM Pro 4 roll. What do you have that's kind of like that? And he's like, oh, you're going to want a pair of the Huberdeau HG12s. That's by CCM. That's the model. HG for hockey glove, and then the number 12. These are tighter across the top of the back of the hand here, but they are not tight. They're tighter than a 4 roll, but they're not tight. So, I would say that he's very accurate in that these have more room than other gloves that are on the market. And of course, you don't have to buy CCM. You can get Warrior, you can get Bauer, anything you want. And they'll have those available to you. But I think the main takeaways from this one is just that when you go and buy stuff from retail, it's going to be lower quality. It's not going to last as long. When it comes time that your palms are doing this whole thing where they're like, like holes are getting worn in them, and I'm keep cutting and iron on these iron on patches here. I probably, I would say that I bet I spent like close to like $80 or $100 over the period of owning these gloves for the amount of just in like these patches that I've ironed on. And then it comes up the topic of like, well, why don't we just like send our gloves off to have them repalmed? Then that costs about $150 to do that. So that's just something that's like most people are not going to be willing to do. And what I'm seeing every time I go into a Pure Hockey or go into the hockey shop up in Langley, the quality that's there, it's not bad quality. However, it's not worth the asking price for retail stuff. That's going to be less durable. And, that's just my 2 cents on that. So where do you get all this stuff at? So it's like, cool, okay, you want to get some way cool Pro Stock gloves or way cool Pro Stock anything. The thing that's going to be challenging is like how to know what your real fit is, because everything fits a little bit different in the Pro Stock world. I'll give you an example. The shin pads I use are Reebok Pro Stock. Usually Pro Stock stuff runs a smidge bigger. So, for example, I typically wear a 15-inch shin pad in retail, and that's across all brands. In Pro Stock, a 15-inch shin pad is actually 15 and a half inches. So I actually go 14, and that equals 14 and a half inches. So that fits me properly. Gloves are similar. So these are 14-inch gloves, but they're probably 14 and a quarter. They're like a little bit roomier. So anytime you see a glove and this goes across all models, basically they're a little bit bigger. They're typically a little bit bigger. If nothing else, the fingers are longer by a smidge. So if you feel like you're in a retail pair of 14-inch gloves, for example, and they are feeling a little bit too long for you, dropping down to a 13-inch glove would be appropriate in that particular situation. So that's one thing you should know. Sizing is usually a smidge bigger across the brands. And that's because those people that play hockey at the pro level are huge, and we are not. I mean, my stomach is, but you get the point. Anyways, so the other thing is like, what model? Because they don't just do Bauer Vapor, Bauer Nexus, that kind of stuff at the pro level usually. For example, with CCM, they have designators like HG for hockey glove and the HG JS. That's for the hockey glove jet speed line. That's a Pro Stock FT1 glove, which is, by the way, I think that's the most popular glove in the NHL right now. Very different from the retail version, just so you know. We have the HG12s, which are these. We have the HG90s, which the HG90 is that Pro Stock, is the 4-roll right here. Like a pair of Tarasenko gloves. That's these. Those are the HG90s. There's also HGTKs, which I don't know what that one stands for. But here's the main point. With CCM, at least, the HGJS for jet speed are the snuggest fitting CCM glove. You want them a little bit looser, you're going to go the HGTK. You want them a little looser, you're going to go to the HG12s, these guys. If you want them to be like an old 4-roll glove, and that could be either the CCM 4-roll or the Bauer 4-roll, which is a Nexus, then you want the HG90s. And there might be some other ones out there, but those will get you started for what you're looking for. So the key takeaways is just remember those numbers. I've gone and researched those. I've talked to the Hockey Stickman website people, very knowledgeable. They will help you. If you go in and say that, like, I like a glove that's really anatomical, They will point you to that specific model and whichever brand you want. And I still haven't really seen anything that even comes close to the price of the retail stuff that you get at Pure Hockey. So I think that I think looking at the interior too. Yeah, and the only thing you might also consider, like, these are HG12 gloves, but this guy right here is a pretty famous hockey player, as you know. He's going to have his HG12s may be slightly different than somebody else who played on the Florida Panthers at this time. They may also have an HG12, but maybe they don't have the same palm in there. Or maybe this little thing that Jonathan Huberdeau put in here, this extra piece of webbing to make sure his thumb has better dexterity, maybe their HG12s don't have that. So there is a little bit of nuance to it. The overall fit and feel of the glove, of the models, will be like very, very similar. So that's something you should know. Anyways, I'm not going to carry on too much more than that because this is just about gloves. If you guys have any interest in me going over like a pro stock overview of all of the manufacturers on fit, like I'd be happy to do that. Just send me some comments. If I get enough comments, I'll do that. I know I can speak right now. I know I can speak to gloves, shin pads, pants, shoulder pads, elbow pads, and the old Reebok girdles and pant shell, those mass mixtures. I can talk to those kind of things as well. And if you're interested in that, I can do a video series on all of those, or one at a time, something like that. But I think that, you guys. Oh, one of the other things too. Shopping from Hockey Stick Man. I know I'm giving them a lot of love right now, but they deserve it. Like, I'm in Seattle, they're in like Toronto or something like that. I mean, from the time I placed my order, it was like 2 days. It was at my house. I was like pretty crazy, and I didn't have to pay tariffs, by the way. But anyways, fast shipping, good people. Products are like definitely more durable, higher quality than what you're getting at Pure Hockey or any kind of the online retailers. And you got pretty much all the colors that you need to do, unless you need something custom for some reason. But anyways, I think I'll leave the video there. Again, just consider that. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. The whole spiel. So other than that, take care.